with me live. You don't need to see me right now. Today we have a special guest. You're going to love him, Matt Gaglioti, but we call him Matt G on stage. He's a 16-year veteran of comedy. He's been doing stand-up since he was 18, originally from New Jersey, now in Colorado Springs, Colorado, not to be confused with Denver. He's been on Without a Trace and the Repo Man, Operation Repo, I guess it is, Operation Repo. He's got the longest running podcast that nobody has listened to. You're going to hear from him right now as we go live. There you are, Matt G. Hi.
Hi.
Was that weird having me?
I'm sharing this on my Facebook page. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'll do the song. Here's the song. The theme song. Spot, the comic spot, the comic spot. Everybody's talking about the comic spot. That's enough of that. On the comic spot where the Army veteran, that's me, is vetting veterans of comedy. That's Matt G. Yeah. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Thanks for that. So tell us, Matt G, you're from originally New Jersey. Now you're in Colorado. Take me through your young life all the way to where you decided, you know what, I'm going to do comedy. Tell me about who you are.
I think I probably always knew. I mean, I was always just trying to be funny and just always loved comedy. I mean, as a kid, you know, you watched all the Saturday morning cartoons and all the after school cartoons, the Three Stooges, the Little Rascals, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Woody Woodpecker, all that stuff. You know, and then of course the classics, like I just said, the Three Stooges, the Little Rascals, the Marx Brothers, to an extent, Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy were big influences of mine. So I just always loved just funny stuff. I always loved making people laugh. I guess it just always felt like if I'm making somebody laugh, they're not, you know, they can't be mad at me. So maybe they'll like me. You know what I mean? It's my icebreaker, I guess.
Yes. I use it as an icebreaker too. I have what I call a bus stop comedy tour. You know, I'm a hit at the bus stops. Yeah, I love talking to strangers. That's when you can be practicing your crowd work and your improv.
That's true. Actually, I know a lot of comedians who are Uber and Lyft drivers who test out their material on their passengers. And I actually do that sometimes too. But occasionally I'll test out some material on them. But not always. Just, you know, I kind of try to, you know, read the room, as it were.
Yeah. So you drive for Uber and Grubhub?
Yeah, Grubhub. Actually, I do them all. Grubhub, not DoorDash, Instacart, Uber, Lyft. I know there's another one. Oh, Caviar, which is just not here in Colorado, though. It's a new one. Yeah, I think that's all of them.
Geez, Louise, between all that, does it keep you money rolling in for you?
I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily rolling in it per se, but I can actually pay all my bills and like be able to go at the end of the month when I've paid everything and there isn't like 48 cents in my account afterwards. And I'm not like, oh my God, my dog got sick. The vet wants $1,000. Are they going to put him down? What am I going to do? You know, I could actually like, you know, maybe save up for that rainy day. It's good. I mean, I think that if I were to lose my full-time day job, I could probably combine all of those and work out a schedule and be able to make a full-time living. I mean, with Grubhub, I'm pretty close. So
do you mean to tell me you have a day job and all these delivery jobs and comedy?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously there's not a lot of comedy going on right now, so I can double down on the delivery. And I'm mostly just doing Grubhub because they keep me the busiest. But yeah.
What's your day job, Matt G?
I work as a broadcast operator for a company who shall remain nameless, but operates 10 stations in 10 different markets throughout the country, including here in Colorado Springs.
And what do you do for them?
I'm in their broadcast operations center. I basically sit in a big room with no windows and a bunch of screens all in front of me with a bunch of playlists and a bunch of little multi-viewers and stuff with all different kinds of pictures and stuff on them. And I make sure that everything keeps going. In other words, if you're watching TV and it goes to black, I'm the guy who makes sure it doesn't stay that way. Or when you're
Wow.
supposed to be watching Judge Judy, I'm the guy who makes sure it's not the People's Court.
Some people wouldn't know the difference, right?
That's true. I mean, a lot of this stuff kind of, works its way into one, but yeah, I am essential. If I don't show up to work, this is what you see on TV.
Oh my goodness sakes. Thank you for being an essential worker. I love watching Judge Judy. I'm a real TV hound.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I was a TV junkie growing up, so it only makes sense that I make my living watching TV, essentially. So
you grew up loving comedy, and now you're behind the scenes for years. You've been behind the scenes.
mm-hmm.
And then to get on stage, what catalyst caused that change?
Well, I mean, I was always the natural performer, so it was basically just what kept me off the stage all these years, more of a thing. Just anytime I got an opportunity to perform, I would. I mean, there was the library in my hometown when I was in the 4th grade or 5th grade did a talent show, and my friends and I did a reenactment of a Three Stooges sketch. So we did stuff like that, and my friends and I would do these little, basically what have now become podcasts. Essentially, we would sit around a tape recorder and just talk, and it would be our own radio show. And and we would do that, and like I said, now it's what podcasts are nowadays. Except we used to do them on tape. Nobody knows what tape is anymore. So.
People don't even know what Scotch tape is, probably.
Exactly. And then of course, the stereotypical, high school play and senior year kind of thing, and doing some plays in college, doing a lot of independent film and video type stuff, shot on video, filmmaking and stuff like that. So it was always just a very like a homegrown grassroots kind of a, I don't know. I want to say like if Andy Warhol lived on a farm.
Wow, I like that.
I guess.
I get it.
Like my brother and I would record each other, or my friends and I would record, we were all in each other's stuff. We would all do, all kinds of stuff like that.
So like very organic, but very unique,
right?
Very eclectic.
Right. And then I decided to go to film school right out of high school to, get more of a formal education and really learn the, the fundamentals of it. And so that was where I, got the fundamental education part. So that's how I know all the numbers and the details and the technical specs and stuff like that. So I'm sorry, I'm petting my dog.
What kind of dog do you have, Matt?
She's an Aussie healer mix. Let me get her. Lucy.
Is she blue in color?
No. Nope, she's white. She's right here. Come here. Come here. Her name is Lucy.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Lucy.
And Lucy. Here comes her big brother, Jack, because he's got to get attention too. Okay.
Lucy looks like Bud. She has the spot on her face.
Yeah. She's got spots all over.
Lucy and Jack.
Jack is over here. I'm going to turn the camera because he's being shy.
Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack. Yoo-hoo. Jack. Sorry for the dog.
He ran away. He's being shy. He ran away.
Lucy and Jack are beautiful dogs.
Thank you.
Yeah. I had a beagle for 15 years, and beagles are always getting into trouble.
They're not, I was going to say, they're not easy dogs to have.
No, people would say, like when I was in New York with the beagle, people would say, is that a PTSD dog? And he causes it. Gotcha. So you went up on stage officially at a comedy club, like what year?
It was a talent show in the Poconos was it 1987, in August of 1987. So I was 18 between high school and college. And it was, the talent night kind of thing. So I went up and I stumbled through a bunch of impressions and stuff. And I guess I did okay because they asked me to come back and do it again, like for the regular thing. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so it was August of 1987-ish.
Wow. Thank you for doing comedy for all these years. What was it like to do comedy in the Poconos? Is the Poconos open these days?
I don't know much about it now. I mean, I know that resort is long closed. So, and I know a lot of them from back in the day did. So I think it's pretty much gone the way of like the Catskills and all that other stuff. But I'm sure that there's probably some stuff still going on there. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know some people who still live out that way. So
So what was it like being on stage at the Poconos? It must have been breathtaking to
I
get
was, yeah, the first time, honestly, I was scared to death because even though it was just a talent show and like, I had friends in the audience and stuff, it was still just, there were more strangers than I'd ever performed in front of, even when I was doing the high school play. So it was scary. That's the thing I remember the most, was just being completely petrified, having dry mouth and stumbling through the material. And then I just, didn't really have like a set. So I just asked people to call out different requests of impressions that they wanted me to do. And it's kind of left it at that. It's just,
and you
like
could
I said,
handle all the requests.
most of them. Yeah. Yeah. I did a pretty good job. And, I went on for about 3 or 4 minutes, I think. And then the host kind of saved me. He came out, he's like, all right, let's do one more. What's your favorite one? So I just did one of them or whatever. Just kind of, so he kind of like helped me off stage and whatever. And he's like, let's work on that a little bit and we'll have you, try it again and whatever.
How many impressions do you do now, Matt G?
I haven't really done many of them in a while, so probably, but still a couple dozen though. So, I mean, I still have the ability. I just don't really practice them very much anymore. I mean, I'll slide in and out of a Peter Griffin every once in a while because, that's a pretty popular one that everybody likes there. So it's pretty sweet. And it's not even a good one. So, but yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. I don't do it on stage unless it like kind of organically works its way in. I'll maybe do a character voice as opposed to an impression now instead. Just because I want to be more original.
Yeah. So where is your comedy in the last 5 years? Where has your comedy taken you? Like, what things have you accomplished that you're so proud that you got to do? And what do you still want to do?
I got to perform at the Broadway Comedy Club in New York City last October.
Yay.
Last October or 2 Octobers ago. It was in October, not too long ago. Last October. Okay, yeah. So that was cool to perform in New York City. That was great. I want to do more. And I want to do the original room.
Upstairs or downstairs?
No, upstairs. Actually, I want to do the main room at the Comedy Store.
Oh, at the Comedy Store in LA?
Yeah. That's my ultimate goal. Not to headline or anything, but just to do the main room, just to be in the lineup somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Not even to be a regular or whatever, just to show up just to be in there one night, just to be in that lineup that one time. You could shoot me in the head after I step off stage. I'll be good to go.
That's the thing you want to accomplish, period, in your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I get it.
That's probably my biggest comedy goal. Yes.
Wow. That is so cool. I always thought that I would want to get to know Wendy Liebman because she's the one that got me to do my own comedy on stage. I didn't want to do it. I wanted other people to do it for me.
Sure.
And I got so lucky about a week and a half ago, I got to interview her. And that I know what you mean, because that day I was like, you can take me home now. I would not complain. I got to talk to Wendy Liebman.
Uh-huh.
So who's somebody you've idolized, Matt G, that you'd love to meet that you haven't met yet?
They're all dead.
Pick somebody that's alive.
He's in prison.
Which one is that? Bill Cosby? I loved him. I never laughed so hard in my life.
Yeah, but I feel guilty because,
But you're innocent. The glove doesn't fit. You don't have to.
It wasn't I was just a kid, I was just it's like everybody who tries to say, you watch the Peanuts. Well, they're, exclusionary and there was only one token black. I was 5. I wasn't even born when they came out, for crying out loud. What are you blaming me for? I mean, God.
Exactly.
Oh.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to just talk comedy with the guy, and I would never take a drink from him, but yeah. And he was actually one of my biggest impressions for years during the whole Jello pudding thing. Everybody doing the Bill Cosby because I was the only white guy who knew how to do the Bill Cosby. So everybody wanted me to do the Bill Cosby. So I got to do it. And then he went away and then he came back and then he went to jail and now it's all good.
I saw him in Vegas, like in the 70s. I never laughed so right when Why Is There Air came out, whatever year that was. I might have the year wrong, but I was laughing so hard, Matt, that I was banging on the table.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, Bill Cosby himself, the HBO special.
Yes.
I saw it so many times. I could have said it backwards, forwards, sideways, standing on my head in a pool of water. I mean, that was my thing, like my style, the whole story. I mean, it influenced my style, the whole storyteller, and throwing in the funny sounds and all that stuff. And it's foundational for me,
Yes.
And then it's like, wow, someone just barbecued the most sacred cow in my life. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And now I feel bad.
Then you have to burn your favorite impression.
Yeah. I mean, I could do it, but it's like, I do this thing about if Bill Cosby hosted Family Feud, because Steve Harvey sounds a lot like Bill Cosby, and the number one, should I do it? Okay. So we surveyed 100 women, top 4 answers on the board. How many drinks does it take before you pass out? Number 1 is the number 1 answer. So, yeah. So that still flies because I can, throw that little, I just have to be careful where I use that one. Again, read the room.
Yes. We have PC police out there nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that has happened in your comedy that you're so glad it happened? I might have already asked that, but I mean, like, just like in levels of getting from here to there, those kind of things that you're glad that you went through this stage to get to that stage with your comedy.
Moving to LA was a pretty big thing for me, because that was kind of it came on the heels of 9/11, my move to LA. And it was basically, that was like the catalyst for me to finally just get up and do something with my life, because I had been stagnating for a long time and languishing, and I had actually given up comedy for a while and just figured, I'm not going to bother with this anymore. It was fun while it lasted, but I can't put the kind of effort into it that I have to, because I need a job and have bills and all that stuff. And so yeah, and then moving to LA was a big thing, because that was when I finally decided that I was going to just go for all the dreams that I had as a kid. And it's like, okay, I'm in LA now, there's no excuse, there's nobody in New Jersey holding me back anymore, it's all me. So that was probably the biggest thing. And then obviously, a lot of the trials and tribulations and stuff that one goes through normally when they experience something like that. It was a huge learning and growth experience for me, and I don't regret it one bit. And then actually a lot of the problems that we encountered after moving to Colorado was more of a growth, personal, professional, and things. So I think the big moves in my life were both physical and mental and emotional and spiritual and career wise for me. That's where you can probably chart the course of where all the big things the changes started happening.
Yes. It's good. Like I was stagnating in Portland, Oregon, and I went on a few trips to New York and had great fun getting on shows there and living there for time. But I'm so glad that I also moved to Vegas, because there's so many people here that have like opened up their arm, like Jeffrey Peterson and different people that are just enveloping me into the community like never before. Have you found that to be the case in Colorado?
To a point, yeah. I mean, it's everybody pretty much knows everybody else, because it is a smaller kind of a thing. So it really can't devolve into being divisive, at least here in the Springs, because like I said, everybody knows everybody. So, I mean, it's not without its interpersonal difficulties. I mean, any group of people is going to have that. I don't have any problem. I'm the old guy. Nobody relates to me. So they kind of, whatever. I don't have a problem with anyone. Nobody has a problem with me. So it's and everybody pretty much does everybody else's shows. So it's yeah, so it is pretty good. And it's actually been a pretty good motivator for me because it is so small and so close. It's like it pushes you to want to write more and to work harder and to really craft and perfect your stuff, because it's like I'm telling my jokes and the same 12 people are hearing it. You know, I want to make them laugh, you know,
Yes.
as well as the crowd. So it challenges you, and we all kind of challenge each other to get better and to stay better and to stay on top of our work and stuff. It's good in that respect.
So what kind of things do you do when you're not working at broadcast production, you call it?
Broadcast operations, yeah.
Operations, and you're not doing comedy writing or performing your comedy. What kind of things do you do with your family, with your dogs, so people get to know you off stage a little? What are some
At that point, all there really is left to do is sleep.
So you drive, you perform, you work, you have dogs, you have a family life.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any sports or different activities, hobbies, interests that would interest people to know?
Well, I'm not really a sports fan. I worked in sports broadcasting for about 7 years, but I never really was a fan. So that's why I was perfect fit for the job, because I didn't really care what was going on.
Yeah.
But New York Rangers hockey. Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
New York Rangers hockey. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about 1940 to 1994, and they haven't won. I don't care. Okay. I don't care. The New York Rangers. That's it. I gave up on the Yankees years. I was a loyal Yankee fan in the 80s when nobody was, and I gave up on the Yankees, but I will never give up on the Rangers.
I like that. I was in Portland, Oregon with the Trailblazers. They won one season all the way. They've had good runs, but it's like being addicted to a really bad drug.
Yeah. I have been known for staying in relationships far too long. So
I'm falling off the couch. Did you want to say any funny material or brag about anything that you've accomplished so people know? I mean, this is your chance for people to fall in love with you.
You mean I haven't been saying funny stuff all along?
You have. I want you to have an opportunity to say without an interruption, which is odd for me.
No, it's fine. I just, we're having an interplay. It's all good.
This is interplay, folks.
Yes.
Very different than intercourse, just in case you're
very different. Yeah, no. The one thing, what is it, about 1,500 miles between us right now would prevent. Yeah,
we're safe. This is distancing. Yeah.
This is social distancing to the. Yeah.
You can have sex in your mind. You don't need to stay there.
Yes, the mind is the most amazing erogenous zone in the entire body.
Do you guys need a break?
I'm sorry. Oh, I need a cigarette. Hang on.
So, you love comedy. You work hard at it. What kind of compliments have you gotten from people after your sets, or how has it touched people's lives? What's the funnest thing you ever did? The most touching thing you ever got to do?
I'll never forget. It was one night. It was a couple years ago. It was at the Zodiac Venue Bar here in Colorado Springs. I was tired and cranky that day. I just wasn't feeling really good. Just was not. I almost didn't go up. It was, it was open mic, and I almost scratched my name off the list. So I was like, I'm here. And then I don't know what clicked in my head that night, but like one of the other comics had gone up before me, and she reminded me of something in one of her material jokes, and kind of started this thing in my head. And then I got up on stage, and I just kind of kept going with it. And I just didn't think about it. And it turned into, to date, the best set of my life. I mean, the crowd was just firing on all 12 cylinders, and it was just, back and forth, and they were laughing, and I was laughing, and I was doing visuals and sound effects and everything, and it was great. And it was everything I had ever hoped for in a set. And I mean, the crowd went nuts when I got off stage. I actually had to stand there behind the curtains for a few minutes and catch my breath, And then when I stepped out from behind the stage, I got a curtain call. I was like, oh my God. And then someone came up to me and said that I should call up, and he gave me a name and a number of somebody at the Pikes Peak Center here in Colorado Springs to call up and see if I can get myself booked on there. And he's like, you're that good, man. You should be playing the Pikes Peak Center. And that's a fairly decent sized arena around here. I'm trying to think of where in Vegas it would be the equivalent of like the MGM, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get to Vegas often?
It's been a while, but my in-laws live there and I have cousins that live there.
You got to come here.
Yes, I'm actually planning on stopping through. I'm trying to get on the road, but they keep shutting everything down. So
Crazy.
when all of this is finally over,
Oh
I do want to hit the road. I don't have anything planned. I don't have any definite dates or whatever, but I'd love to try to, take a little bit of a southern tour. I've never been to Albuquerque. I'd love to try Albuquerque. So Albuquerque, hello.
Yes.
Phoenix, hello, Phoenix. Hit me up. All right. She's got all my links right down here. Right.
It'll be right on this post afterwards.
There you go. So, yeah, Albuquerque, Phoenix, and then of course I have to pass through LA because of I got to see all my people there. Then I'd like to go to the Bay Area. So anybody in the Bay Area that wants to check a brother out, and then I'm going to go see my daughter in Oregon. So she's just south of Eugene, so Portland, I guess, or Eugene, Oregon, anywhere in there. And then I want to hit Seattle and Salt Lake City, and then Vegas, and then back here to Colorado or to New York. I haven't decided yet, but that's all what I want to do. But I just haven't had, nothing's obviously, I can't plan anything. There's no sense in trying because, who the hell knows when comedy clubs are going to open up again. So in the meantime, hit a brother up.
Well, is there anything you want to cover? Because I want to make sure you're really happy with the audio, video, and the content. So now's your chance to add anything before I head off. Anything that you want to say?
Oh yeah, well actually, you had asked me once about any kind of inspirational words that I wanted to maybe offer to anybody who wants to try to get into this, and that's kind of was a little bit of our conversation before. Yeah, if you're, I mean, I'm 51 years old. Okay, I started at 18, and I'm still probably career-wise right where I started when I was at 18. And it really is true. You could start at any time. It's never, ever, 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 ever been as easy as it is right now to make any type of a career in entertainment. I mean, look at what we're doing.
Exactly. Right from home.
It's so easy. Exactly. This phone that I'm using right here and the one you're watching me on, you can do. When I was first starting out, it took you a building full of equipment to be able to do. Thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, dozens, if not hundreds of people, all in real time to try to get it going. And it would not look this good. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's never going to get better because it's only going to get better, but it's never been this good. So if you've ever been afraid, I mean, nobody's more afraid of this right now than I am, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it right. And
yeah.
Like a lot of people are staying away from doing Zoom shows or Zoom mics because it's not the same. But the thing is that in our heads, we know what the right timing is. And I think we just have to push past the fact that you're not going to get the feedback the way you want it. Right.
I think that the next phase of this kind of thing is going to be where it's going to become more of a virtual experience, where you'll be able to put on a headset and you'll feel like you're in a club and you'll hear the guy sitting next to you, even though he's in Peoria and you're in, Falcon, Colorado. It's going to seem like he's sitting at the table next to you because you're both kind of jacked in. And so you'll have a lot more of that, I think. And I'm pretty sure within, I'd say less than 5 years, we'll probably start seeing that. And that's going to make it even easier. And at that point, there's going to be no excuse not to do this.
Exactly.
Except for you're not funny. So
then step aside and let somebody funny on.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'll say. If you're not funny and it's even if it's this easy and you're still not having success, at some point you got to say, all right, maybe I got to give up, but it's never going to be this easy to find out. So why not find out? What's the worst that can happen?
How
go
long
back to your regular life?
Have you run into comics that weren't funny for like 3 to 5 years and then all of a sudden they became funny, or If they weren't funny at the beginning, they never. You were that type? Me too.
Yeah, I was funny-ish, kind of, just because I was so whatever. But at a certain point, you've actually got to have substance in there. And that was what I learned and just started to, I never really wrote material or had a set or anything for the longest time. And then I started to take it a lot more seriously and got into the fundamentals of it basically. And fundamentals exist for a reason. That's why they're called fundamentals.
Yeah, they're
So,
not shortcuts. They're fundamentals. There's a difference. Some people
exactly.
come in and go, what are the shortcuts? Like, okay, if you're coming in for the shortcuts, you might want to try something else.
Yeah, exactly. The only shortcut you're going to get is to being broke and disappointed and upset and depressed, suicidal, and possibly a virus. Who knows?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
shortcuts are clickbait.
Yes, yes. Well, you've been absolutely awesome to share your life.
Well, thank you. I
Appreciate
appreciate
your
the opportunity.
time. I appreciate his humility letting me retape on better machinery so that people can see you. It was like I was bootlegging my own video. This is much better, Matt. Matt G, everybody. Give it up for Matt G.
And if you like what you see, tell the haters what they're missing.
Give it up for Matt G, you guys. Get out and support him. I'll post this with all the things you sent me. They'll all be on there for people to read. Get out and support him. You heard him say he's going to be doing a tour. Go look at all the places online where he's at. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's put in the time. Have some respect for this great guy, a veteran of comedy. And he can shut off your TV. Did you not hear that?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing I keep forgetting to mention is that I also do advocate for mental health.
Tell us about that.
Well, obviously, having a history of mental health of my own, I definitely am a supporter and try to involve myself as much as I can and promote, for example, the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance here in Colorado Springs. I do my annual Facebook fundraiser is for them every year. So
wonderful.
I did
what time of year does that come out?
I'm sorry?
What time of year does that come out?
My birthday is in February, so every February 5th you'll see that. But we try to they tried to do an event recently. It was a comedy show, and I was actually part of that. So I want to try to see if I can be able to get involved more as I'm going to start having more free time. I definitely want to get involved more in that, in just mental health awareness, support, treatment, things like that. Because especially here in Colorado, specifically Colorado Springs, it's very lacking, and nurses are in charge of healthcare because there's so few psychiatrists who actually want to put the time and effort into, unless you're in the military, obviously. But yeah.
Wow. Well, let's get behind him and support on that. So in February, when it comes out, tag me so that people that have been following me can help support it.
For sure. Absolutely.
I'm a real personal, I'm such an advocate against, how can you be an advocate? But I'm an advocate against having a stigma. Anybody with mental issues, if they're willing to say, I have bipolar, I have depression, I have a brain injury and PTSD, I dare anybody to my face to try to stigmatize it.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to do, because we aren't lesser. In fact, it gives us greater insights to people's struggles.
Absolutely.
If they get rid of the stigmas, more of us would survive and thrive.
And if somebody really wants to challenge and take issue with it and think it's all in my head, yeah, it's all in my head.
What is that?
That's the scar I received when I went headfirst into my uncle's windshield at 18 months old.
Oh my Lord. Holy Toledo. And so that is an organic reason to struggle with mental issues, right? That has caused depression.
Yep. It actually caused ADHD also, because it's a function of brain construction. So it caused issues with that. PTSD, ADHD, and a whole host of other things as you start to age, as your condition advances.
Yes. So, like people think that we caused this ourselves, or if we would just get on meds and stay on meds. I'm so tired of people thinking that we're lesser. We're not. So if you are struggling with anything that's mental, reach out, call the suicide prevention hotline, 1-800-273-TALK. Talk to me, talk to Matt, talk to anybody you know that's open about. And if you come out with the fact that you have mental issues, you're much better off than holding it in.
Yep. I would rather spend all night talking to you and crying with you about what's wrong than spend the rest of my life crying because you died.
Thank you. I saw that post that you put out, and it was so touching. You said something to that effect than going to your funeral, I think you said?
Yeah.
Beautiful. You rather listen to you struggle than have to attend your funeral.
Yep.
Lost a lot of people that were military, lost a lot of comics to suicide.
Too many. I got survivor's guilt. I've seen so many die.
Absolutely. It's no joke.
Nope.
It's not funny. It's not a funny topic, but it's real, you guys. So
It is.
quit with the stigmas and support people that are willing to say they have mental issues.
That's
We
right.
don't all go postal.
That's right.
Last time I went postal was when I had my monthly. You know how long ago that was. You're
Yes,
safe.
we're very brave.
Thank you so very much, Matt G. I love you to pieces.
I love you back. Mwah.
Bye, Matt. Matt
I'll
G,
see you
folks.
soon.
Okay, come to Vegas. Bye.
Everybody's talking